The Fox and the Stork. Once upon a time, in a peaceful forest surrounded by tall trees and blooming flowers, there lived a clever fox. He was well known throughout the forest not just for his wits but also for his mischievous tricks. He enjoyed teasing others and often played pranks just for his own amusement. Many animals had fallen victim to his clever jokes, and though some laughed along, others felt hurt or embarrassed. One sunny afternoon, as the fox strolled along the edge of the woods near a quiet pond, he saw a stork standing still in the water, fishing for small frogs. The stork looked graceful with her long legs and even longer beak, and the fox's clever mind began to churn with an idea. He approached her casually and greeted her with a sly smile. "Good day, my dear stork. What a lovely afternoon, isn't it?" The stork turned her head and replied gently, "Indeed it is, Mr. Fox." The fox flicked his bushy tail. I was just thinking how nice it would be to enjoy a meal with a friend. Why don't you come to my den tomorrow for a lunch? I'll cook something special for you." The stork, surprised but pleased by the invitation, nodded politely. "That would be lovely, thank you." The next day, the stork arrived at Fox's den right on time. The smell of delicious soup wafted from inside, making her feel hungrier with every step. As she walked in, the fox greeted her warmly and said, "Welcome, welcome. I have prepared something you will really enjoy." He brought out two very shallow bowls, both filled with creamy vegetable soup. The fox immediately began lapping up his portion with ease, using his tongue like a spoon. The stork, however, faced a problem. Her long, narrow beak was completely useless with the bowl. No matter how hard she tried, she could not scoop up even a drop of the soup. She tilted her head, poked at the bowl, and tried every angle, but it was of no use. Meanwhile, the fox was slurping loudly and pretending not to notice her struggle. Every now and then, he would glance at her and smirk. "Aren't you enjoying, dear stork?" he asked mockingly. The stork raised her head and smiled politely. "It smells delicious, Mr. Fox, but I suppose I'm not just hungry after all." She stood up slowly, thanked the fox for the invitation, and gracefully flew away. But inside, she felt deeply insulted. That was not hospitality, she thought. That was a trick, and not a very kind one. But the stork was wise. Instead of getting angry, she thought of a gentle way to teach the fox a lesson. A few days later, she visited the fox and said, "Mr. Fox, I have been thinking about your lovely meal, and I would love the chance to return the favor. Will you join me for dinner tomorrow evening?" The fox's ear perked up with excitement. He loved food, and he loved even more when someone offered to cook for him. "Absolutely," he said. "I will be there." The next evening, the fox arrived at the stork's elegant little nest, which was located beside the river. The setting sun cast golden light on the ripples in the water, and the air was filled with the aroma of something rich and flavorful. Come in," said Stork, welcoming him warmly. "Dinner is ready." She brought out two tall, narrow-necked glass bottles, each filled with the juice. The stork dipped her long beak into the bottle and began to enjoy the meal. taking long sips from deep within. The fox, on the other hand, was baffled. He stuck his snout into the bottle, but it would not go far. He tried tipping the juice bottle, but the stew wouldn't come out. He pawed at the table, sniffed and licked around the rim, but he could not eat anything at all. The stork noticed his frustration and said gently, "Is something wrong, Mr. Fox? You are not eating." The fox looked embarrassed. "Well, I suppose the juice bottle is a little too narrow." The stork smiled politely. "Oh, I am so sorry, just as your flat bowl was too shallow for me the other day." Realizing he had been tricked the same way he had tricked her, the fox lowered his head and said, "You are right. I played a joke on you, and now I know how it feels. I am sorry for treating you unfairly." The stork nodded kindly. "We all make mistakes, Mr. Fox, but we must remember true hospitality is about thinking of others, not ourselves." From that day on, the fox stopped playing cruel tricks and became a more thoughtful member of the forest. He and the stork even became good friends, sharing real meals together with the dishes they could both enjoy. Moral: treat others how you wish to be treated. What goes around comes around. Thanks for watching. If you like this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel and leave a comment below to let us know your favorite part. Want to hear your own story narrated by us? You can send us your story at mahastoryteller@gmail.com. But don't forget to include your name and address so we can give you credit when we share it. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a magical bedtime tale. See you in the next story. Thanks for watching.